So hey y'all, in the last video I talked about when you perceive your thoughts as feelings, right? So if you haven't checked it out, then go check that out, and this will kind of help you out with what I'm saying now. So a lot of times we perceive our thoughts as our feelings, right? We get confused when you don't understand how things work. It's naturally to get confused. So if you have confused your thoughts with your heart, then hey, we all fall short. But hey, guess what? We are learning. Long as you're learning, hey, that's all that matters. So, when it comes to decisions and discerning and trying to perceive the right things, or trying to properly translate what's you, what's your heart, what's God, what's the devil. You know, you like, it's really important that you be in tune and you really be intentional whenever you're actually making a decision, or whenever you start to get confused. That lets you know that hey, that's a red flag. That's an indicator. I'm confused, so that means I'm gonna have to carefully examine this thing, and I'm gonna have to pull my heart from my head, because sometimes we thinking we using our heart, but yet in reality we using our head. And like I talked about in the previous video, your head will talk you out of things. Okay? Fear, right? When you don't, cause consider your head as fear for a second. We're gonna use it as fear. And your heart is love, right? So they're the opposite. They're total opposites. And you have to learn how to make these things that will work against each other. You have to learn how to make them work for each other. Okay? Anytime that you don't allow these things to work with each other, then in the natural, it appears as a person that's confused and also a person that's unbalanced. You have to learn how to use the head and the heart together. But the only way that you will learn how to use them properly if you understand what the heart does and what the mind does. So just like the enemy, the inner me, a lot of your fights be internally, not externally. It's the inner person in you, which is your heart and your head, that conflicts a lot. That's why we be in a lot of conflict. That's why, like I said, we be confused, because we don't know who talking to who. We got so many different things going on in our head that you don't know what's you, what's God, what's the enemy, and what's just, somebody else. So you have to, like I said, you have to be mindful of certain things, especially when you're trying to make life decisions, okay? You have to really be intentional on trying to see, okay, is this really coming from me? Is this my head thinking this? Because like I said, your head will talk you out of some stuff. Especially, like I said, the mind is your thoughts. It's your way of trying to make sense out of how your feelings, right? The mind is to help you interpret what you're feeling. It's to help you interpret, or to guide you along the road of your heart, right? Your heart is the roadmap. Your head, your mind, is to help you to articulate the path. It's designed to help you maneuver correctly through the answers of the heart, okay? It's not designed like a lot of people use it for, to just use their head and their head alone. And that's the reason why you feel you're not whole, because you're only using part of you and not all of you, okay? Because like I talked about in previous videos, your heart is the most important organ in your body. I can live without my mind. Now, will I be functional? No, that's a horse of a different color. But I can live without my head, without my brain. I could be brain dead and still live. But when my heart, the minute that my heart shut down, that's the minute that I die. That's the minute that you are non-existent. So we dealing with a lot of people that are non-existent, a lot of people that are dead, a lot of people that are sleepwalking. You alive naturally, but spiritually you dead. Because guess what? You have shut down your heart, the most important organ in your body. The organ with all the answers. And that's why love is blinding. Because a lot of times the heart is able to see the things internally that you can't see externally. So guess what? Your head trying to make sense of certain things because you're fighting it. Because you're fighting the inner me. You're dealing with the heart. You're trying to fight what you want to do versus what your heart and what already is put into you that God has already gave you the answers to within you. You trying to fight with that thing along with doing you versus what you're supposed to be doing versus what your heart is telling you. Your mind is telling you, no, I'm gonna do it this way. This is gonna be better, right? And that's where we mess up at. Because like I said, your heart is able to articulate and see the things, because I told you they're a pair of eyes, just like your mind is a pair of eyes as well, but they work differently. So your mind and your eyes, that like, you have to be able to, you can't get afraid, okay? Because sometimes we get afraid, and like I said, think of the mind as fear, right? So you got fear and love. You in conflict all your life, right? You was born with these two things. And a lot of times, it's like going to a job. You end up getting on the job training, right? They just throw you in there. And just like life, through your experiences, you learn things. You learn how to finally use your head and your heart. But like I said, a lot of people have grown cold. A lot of people don't use their hearts. And they haven't used them in so long, they don't even have one no more. Okay? And they don't use it out of fear. Right? Which fear will paralyze you. It will cripple you. It will destroy you and everything around you. It will destroy relationships. You wonder why relationships ain't working. You wondering why you drawing the same people to you. Because you're drawing the same people that's doing the same thing using just their head. And when you use your head, you become selfish. Because you're not caring about the heart. Which is, like I said, the heart equal love. You don't care about love. You become selfish. When in actual reality, you need to learn how to be selfless. Less of your mind, more your heart. Then when you learn how to use your heart, then you learn how to balance both. So you won't become used. Right? So people won't manipulate you easily. So people won't hurt you. Because guess what? Just like God said in the scripture, above all things else, guard your heart. But don't overly guard it. Because too much of anything is bad for you. So you have to learn balance. Like I said, when it goes back to your mind and your heart, know how to use these things. Learn how to use them. You learn how to use them, everything in your life will just be smooth sailing. So, like I was saying earlier, sometimes we get afraid of things. We get afraid of things that we don't understand. And sometimes our head, our mind are not at the place it needs to be, because sometimes God will hide things from you until the right time. Okay? So a lot of things, of course, you're not going to know. Right? So, but certain things you will know, because when you have learned to listen to their heart, some things you know before other people know. And that scares certain people. And they're like, how you know this? Like, what people don't understand, right? They are not only amazed by what they don't understand, but it also triggers something off in them, and it also makes them afraid. People are afraid of what they don't understand. So they mark what they don't understand as something that is wrong, something that could be what frowned upon, something that could be used as witchcraft, something that's, they try to banish those things. They try to cover up or shy away from things that they don't understand out of fear. They get fearful and they be like, or they don't have the ability to articulate certain things, so they automatically shut down based off not understanding certain things. It's almost like trying to learn algebra. When you don't understand something, you get frustrated by a thing, right? And then when you get naturally frustrated by a thing, what's next? You naturally give up on something, right? Then doubt and some other stuff just come in, and it all be this big ball of a bunch of things that you didn't talk yourself up on, right? So now this fear is wrapped up with a whole bunch of other stuff with doubt, adding your beliefs, which probably 9 out of 10 are false. So when you learning how to reprogram the mind, then you see that, oh man, it's got to be a death of the ego. It's got to, it's like I got to build a whole new foundation because of my thoughts, what I thought wouldn't, it's not in alignment of what is. You know what I mean? So like I said, people fear what they don't understand. So that's why I was like, asking God, like, why is it so hard to love? Why is it so hard for people to find it? Why is it so hard to get it? Because guess what? The mind that's trying to fight against it, because you naturally fight against things that you don't understand or things that you are afraid of, right? And like I said, it's the opposite. So whenever you deal with a person, and that's why it's important to deal with people that are mature, especially mature at heart and know how to use their heart, right? When you dealing with that, because it's like now I'm going to a rabbit hole, I'm losing my train of thought or whatnot. But basically, when you're dealing with certain things in life, you have to be able to properly see things. Not be so set up on what I think or what I feel. Because like I said, everything can turn. Everything is different. You got to treat every situation differently. Right? We get so caught up into routine. We get so caught up into habits and stuff like that, normal day-to-day things, and we forget to treat everything different. You treat not to say that you don't gather your same principles, but at the end of the day, every situation is different. Use your discretion when you're doing certain things, and it will help you. So learn how to allow the mind to work with the heart without trying to fight it, without being against it, okay? Because a lot of times we just try to fight the current. And that's why we end up going crazy. And that's why we end up unhappy. And that's why we end up choosing wrong relationships, dealing with the wrong people, because we trying to fight what is already supposed to be, right, with what we think things should be and how we think things should go. Because 9 out of 10, whatever you think should be is less likely what it's supposed to be anyway. So we got to get out of how we feel or what we think. And the minute you get away from that, you stop fighting it. So, of course, naturally, you're already in a natural defense type of mode, whether you think it or not, because your head and your heart is not talking. So you defensive. You in defense. And what you gonna do when you in defense? You gonna naturally fight it. When you offended, or you and you ain't trying to agree. You know what I mean? Like, when you ain't agreeing, you ain't trying to hear nothing the heart trying to say, or the mind ain't trying to hear nothing the heart trying to say. So you have to learn to build a relationship with both of them. Okay? Because one is not better than the other. It's just like a man and a woman. Same difference. They have two different purpose. They serve different purposes. Neither is greater than the other. Right. But, like I said, when you serve different purposes, it's certain things that one gonna do that the other one can't do. And that's what make them different. And that's what make it that you need the both. It becomes an equal give and take. Because guess what? A man can have a baby without the woman, just like a woman can have a baby without the man, right? Even if you do have a surrogate or whatnot, you still needed parts or something from a man to even do that, whether it's injection or whatever, right? It's still the same. Certain things you need, right, in order to birth something, right? In order to get something. In order to get great results, right? You need to be able to use things equally. So I hope this helped. Y'all be blessed and have a good one.